Thank you. Hello, hello, and good evening, everybody.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, 𝐳𝐸𝐭𝐨𝐫. Hi, Ricky.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody. Jatinder, we have Darren Chong, we have Lee Sung-Yi, we have Wendy, and we have the rest of them as well joining us tonight. Welcome to tonight's Kopi Time session. So tonight is basically Ask Us Anything, but of course not stock tips. Hi, Yuan Tong. Okay. Hello, Karine. It's all getting ready for the Chinese New Year. Still didn't see red on a decoration at home. I got decorate at home, 𝐲𝐭्𝐤𝐬, Ricky.
Definitely, yes. This one is a traditional. Must do it every year.
So Ricky got the got an ornament there. Hi Patrick, hi Arul, hi Song. Good evening. Okay, let me just share my screen. We're going to start in a short while, yeah? If you can hear us loud and clear, can you just say yes in the comment section? Hey, thank you. Heng hong what hopefully this year is another good year. The market seems to be losing its steam a little bit. Hello, 𝐸𝐭𝐤 lim, Darren. All right, Jatinder. Thank you, Arul. Thank you, Dai. Okay, it looks like we're all ready to go. Okay. Now, so before we start, whatever that's being shared here today is for informational and educational purposes only. It's not intended as any investment advice. So if you want to look for an investment advice, please do look for a licensed professional advisor. All right. Okay, while we are still waiting for the others to join in, you can ask your questions if you want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share how our market is doing so far, okay, based on charts lah. All right. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, and for those guys who are on our equities tracker or Genius package, you can actually have the KLCI chart, right? You just go to the Chartist app or the button there, and then you just type in KLCI. You should be able to see the KLCI chart. Okay, so yeah, market has been quite bearish since the beginning of this year, right? We can see 2021. The index started slightly bullish. It went from about 1,580 to about 1,638 before it started to slide down, right? And today also we see markets are quite bullish actually in the region, except for Malaysian market. So if you want to have a clue where our index is going to go, you have to look at the other markets. Like if the other markets go up, we go down. If the other markets go down, we go up. Okay, it's always like it's like always the opposite direction, right? And I think in the past 1 week as well, we see glove makers are starting to pull back quite sharply, right? We see quite a strong jump actually 2 weeks ago, and this comes from that, the GameStop that started that Wall Street bets, and then we also have this Bursa bets, and then I remember the Top Glove jump. I think if I can have the chart earlier 2 weeks ago, right? But then again, the prices start to go back to its level where it was before the whole Bursa bet thing lah. Okay, so be careful when you try to follow these groups, because we never know actually who's behind all these groups, right? Okay, there may be people who want to sell, okay, but they can't sell, and then they ask people to buy. Okay, so that's why it's very important to know what you're doing. All right. So on the chart, you can see there's actually this pattern here, which I'm a little bit quite cautious. Okay, this started actually from November last year. You can see this thing called a head and shoulder pattern. I'm not sure whether you can see this pattern or not. Okay, but let me just try to draw here lah. Okay, this one is basically the head. Okay, and then we have the two shoulders over here. Okay, there's one shoulder here. Okay, and then there's another shoulder here. Okay, so basically a head and shoulder pattern is a bearish reversal pattern. It basically indicates that the market is quite toppish at the moment, and of course for every pattern there's a confirmation, right? If you look at the trend is still bullish in the midterm. You can see that that the KLCI is still above the 200-day moving average. Okay, this red line that you see here, let me just make it a little bit thicker. Okay, I'm just going to make it thicker a little bit. Okay, so this red line is a 200-day moving average and is currently at 1540 points, 1540, right? And if I were to draw a neckline on the head and shoulder pattern, is currently at 1650, and that's the reason why I put the number there, right? That's where the support level, for the market is, and you can see that the index is also gone inside the Ichimoku cloud. When the price or the index moves inside the Ichimoku cloud, it simply means that the market is uncertain. So for the past 2 weeks, you can see it's been being supported above these 1560 points, right? But is not able to actually turn around and rebound upwards. So we are seeing quite some selling pressure actually in the past few weeks, because whenever the market rebounds, we have sellers coming in. And of course, this is based on the 30 counters. And the reason why our index is not moving as well is because of those glove counters that are in there. And today, I think the glove counters fall about 5%, right? So that brought the index down. So the question right now is whether the market is going to be support or not. This boils down to the next maybe 1 week. We are looking at the support level at 1560. So if the index can stay above 1560, that means it is still quite okay. They're still being supported. But if it does break below 1560, and that's where we're probably going to see a bigger correction in our markets. Right now, just to give you an idea, if you want to use the pattern, right, and look for a target based on that head and shoulder pattern. Okay, I don't want to be so bearish here, but again, this is just purely based on technical analysis, right? If that 1560 level is broken, you're going to expect the index to probably come down and find support around 1430 points. Okay, that's the price objective based on the head and shoulders pattern. Okay, and again, this is only for the application of technical analysis. So this is educational. Okay, this is not any form of investment advice. Right, and of course 1560 is a support level. If you can stay above that level, it's okay. But if the index breaks below 1560, then I expect a bigger correction. And based on that head and shoulder pattern, it should come down. I'm not say I should, but based on the pattern, the target for that pattern is 1430 points. Right, but if it can rebound, then of course we'll probably see some resistance along the way. And in order for this trend to be really bullish again, it has to go above the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, and that resistance level on the cloud is at 1622 points. So in order for we really want to get a good momentum upwards, it has to break above 1622. Right, if not, it's probably just going to stay sideways and correct sideways. But again, the 1560 points level is the level to watch out for. All right. Okay. So that's my sharing. I'll do later. I'll do some more announcements of what's going to happen in the next 1 or 2 weeks, lah. All right. Okay, I know Ricky and 𝐶𝐞𝐬𝐭, you don't look at the market so much, but what's your take? What's your feel in the past few weeks?
Yeah, 每年过新年了以后 ，market 基本上都不怎么，就不怎么 hot 了。等到人家 holiday 回来了以后，基本上才会相对比较 hot。那是非常正常的啦。不过我相信已经差不多时间了。不管哪一个国家，特别是美国总统已经站稳了，接下来对他的期望，也许就是他的作为，或者对他的期望，可能会影响到整个世界经济的走向跟波动，当然直接就影响到股市了。这些是要我们密切去注意的。 好，水江。
Hello, good evening. So Ricky was saying that almost every year during the time of Chinese New Year around this timing, so market is so hot. That means it's not so active. Okay, so only if after Chinese New Year, everyone back to work or resume to work, so market only will activate back. This is what Ricky has observed for the past many years. But he also mentioned that now the one of the major concern previously by him, U.S. election has completed, and now U.S. has a new president, and with the new policy in place, so we expected it hopefully can get some positive impact within this year. Yeah, then for myself, remember February, every February, many companies will release their quarterly report, especially after Chinese New Year. So it's also in line with Ricky's saying that after Chinese New Year, we expect some market back to its normal, coupled with this announcement, especially quarterlies, those with flying result, good result. So yes, after Chinese New Year, now everyone seems like in holiday mood a little bit. So yeah, this is what we observe.
Yeah, we can actually see that trading volume has actually gone down in the past 3 weeks, right? So like you said, maybe everybody's on holiday mood. I think a lot of them are being cautious also on the quarterly reports. And I'm sure, I mean, when we look at the chart that I showed earlier, it was the index, right? It's only 30 counters, but there are still a lot of counters that are moving, right? And presumably is probably everybody expecting good quarterly reports from these companies, lah. Right. Yeah, so Karin was asking Sifu Ricky's BIMB warrant. That was quite some time ago, right? It's very horse. Okay, because I the reason why I bring this up, because Shamim is asking what does horse means. It's a Hokkien word, isn't it?
Yeah, Hokkien word.
Okay, maybe you want to explain what is it, Swikya?
Horse mean good, right?
That means it's a very positive sign for this. A very good impact.
Yeah, that means it's damn good, Shamim.
I bought this counter a few years ago, actually. A week until today, only this recently, only the price come to my expectation.
All right. Okay. Okay. While you guys are still asking the questions, maybe I just want to get a little bit personal here with Ricky and Swee-Kiang, right? I'm sure some of you already heard their stories, but some of you may not. But why, especially Ricky, maybe you want to share with them when you actually start to invest in the stock market, because you have been in directorship in quite a few public listed companies. But when do you actually start? And what made you start investing?
Okay, long story short. 基本上，我想实际上已经知道答案了啊。我1979年左右，我开始投资股票，那是因为 IPO， 一个 salesman 介绍我一个 IPO， 中奖，因为我用1000块在3个月以内赚了4000多块。你先translate吧。
Yeah, Ricky was saying that he started to invest in stock market back in 1979. I think most of a lot of us are still not yet born. So why he started actually is introduced by a salesman. Okay, a salesman that recommend to him one stock. So Ricky spent 1,000 ringgit to invest, and guess what he got? He received after that. I think about 4,000. The return, including the investment, including the capital, is about 4,000 plus. So this inspired him to work harder or invest more in the stock market.
这个赚钱呢，让我忽略了一件很重要的事情，以为投资股票是很简单的事情，拿了 dip 就可以买。结果因为这样子呢，养成一个坏习惯，让我连续30年都在这种情况之间操作。好，回到水江。
Yeah, with this easy earn money, so Ricky thought that investment in stock market is as easy as ABC. Is very easy, and together with the tips he received so this is the started of the nightmare, because with these bad habits in place, he has been continuously in this bad habits for the continuous 30 years.
重点在于，我虽然常有输钱，但是因为薪水可以 cover 这个输钱呢，所以呢，家人并不知道我在股市并没有赚钱，表面上好像继续赚钱，但是这个坏的习惯呢，你能够 cover 你的 losses， 没有影响你的生活，你 take it 就无所谓了，这无所谓让你没有细心去学习。
So the clue or the important points over here is that although he continues to make some losses in stock investment, but luckily it was covered by his monthly salary as a very working in the factory as started with an engineer and the most important thing is that his family member was not aware of this. So basically the family life is not affected at all.
所以呢，习惯养成了，一直到退休了以后才清醒，因为没有 salary 了嘛。
Ricky only aware of this after retirement, because the moment is start to retire, there is no income at all after that.
所以我就开始去学，最后很幸运的，最后跑到 equity tracker 去学习，从你改变，这是一个 turning point， 改变我的投资的结局了。
So after retirement, Ricky spent some time to start to learn how to learn and pick up the skill on investment. So he feel very lucky because he managed to meet equities tracker and follow through all the courses and pick up all the skills and knowledge and know-how from equities tracker. So he feel very lucky and also very appreciate.
Yeah, I think back to zero, we need to learn and unlearn those are no good things and learn a good thing. From there, I think investment is not very complicated or sophisticated. It can manage if you really learn and do it.
Yeah, so Ricky feel that he decided to reset everything, learn and unlearn. So pick up the good one and just ignore the bad habits and the bad one. So everything start there, and he feel that after learning investment is basically very easy to him, and he can manage that.
When do you get to know about equities tracker? Okay.
2009, if I'm not mistaken.
So do you think it's late for example, a person who already retired to actually learn about investing if let's say they haven't learned yet?
And at the age of 70 plus today, never too late to learn. It's only too late when you're not starting to learn.
Okay, so 𝐸𝐭𝐨𝐬, you're the younger one, right? So what's your story?
Okay, my story is very simple. I started with after Ricky met or attended equities trackers class. So Ricky also introduced to me a very good course that I should pick up. So I remember, I think I traveled together with Ricky to attend the 2 days course in KL, and taught by Jim and Alvin. So this was my, I think, back in also 2009. So about 11 years ago, I started with zero knowledge because I was an engineer, and I have no idea and no basic or fundamental on value investing. But after study, and I feel I started to aware that investment is very important. While you are working hard in your work area, you can use your time and leverage on your investment to grow your passive income. So I have a dream that in one day I can turn my investment into my from a passive income to an active income. So now I'm on the way after 10 years. So luckily, I'm still very appreciate and lucky to meet equities tracker.
Yeah, so for guys who do not know them, they are now on a mission because of what they have learned on equities tracker. So right now, Ricky, 𝐸𝐭𝐨𝐬, Jason, they are basically you're running the Mandarin training for equities tracker, right? And I guess this is basically from their experience from equities tracker that actually give them the passion to actually teach, right? For me, I only got to know about investing, like for not really investing. I mean, how to read fundamentals, because I'm not a fundamental guy, right? I only based on charts. So like there's not one guy said here, right? Let me see. Where is it? Go on already. Someone talking about hood. Who's that? Li Hua Hun, yes. Also, so Sifu Ricky used to use hood method when he was young. I think when we were all young and dangerous, we hood lah, right? And as we grow older, we don't really hood anymore lah. Because if when I started quite young. I started in 1997, right? If I lose all my money, also it's okay. I can go back to my parents' house and still stay with my parents, right? But now, if I lose all the money, not only I will be jialat, okay, my whole family will go down as well. So we are now became more cautious. So trading, we are more. I mean, for me also, I was more aggressive in trading, but now I'm less aggressive, right? But of course, like 𝐸𝐭𝐨𝐬 mentioned as well, I think it's important to build an investment portfolio. And that's the reason why only for the past few years I've been picking up how to build an investment portfolio so that I don't need to trade actively lah. Okay, that's my main objective as well. But of course, trading is still a passion. Trading is still something that you can build as long as you know how to manage your risk, right? There was a question about, is there a trading class? Yes, I'll mention to you. I'll give the information later. Harvin, right? Harvin is asking. Later I'll share with you when we're gonna have the trading class. But you know what? I think there's no age where that should limit you from learning, especially learning the right way to invest. Again, that's very important. I mean, investing is very simple, right? I mean, trading is also very simple. It's just open an account, go internet, go online, go to your online broker, just click buy and sell. Okay, it's actually very easy, isn't it? Okay, but getting the right stock to buy, getting the right investments, getting the right portfolio, that's where the challenge is. And I think Ricky put it very very well as well, that trading or investing, if you know how to do it, it is really not that difficult, right? It is only when we do not know, then it can be difficult. Okay, so that's a story. I think everyone has a story in Equity Striker, and that's the reason why we are still here, right? We are still passionate to basically share this information to as many people as possible, so that they too can get educated. Just to show of hands, how many of you have already attended our training programs? Can you just say, maybe you just put Equity Striker, just type in Equity Striker so that we know. I know some of you are already there. Maybe you just type in Equity Striker so that we know that you have actually attended our programs. Okay, and if you want to share your experience, you can also share lah. All right. So that's a story, and of course, Alvin is my investing guru lah, right? Okay. Okay. I'm still new to looking at fundamentals, so basically whatever Alvin share, I will just follow lah. And of course, Ricky Sifu and 𝐕𝐨𝐬𝐭𝐨𝐬𝐢 also.
You had to learn Mandarin first.
No need lah. I can just go to Genius and look at your portfolio, right? Anyways, that is for educational purposes. Of course, I will ask a question also lah. If I want to buy that particular share, I will do my own homework also lah. Okay. All right, let's go to your questions, guys. Okay, Darren is asking, in your opinion, what is the recommended DCA? I believe it's dollar cost averaging time frame. Whether to average down or up, got particular stock for long-term investment. For example, every 3 months, or depend on individual plan. What do you think?
I think 𝐕𝐨𝐬𝐭𝐨𝐬𝐢 can familiar with this item.
Okay, dollar cost averaging is a concept whereby every month or in a fixed interval of time, every month, every quarter, every year, you fork out some amount and into your portfolio and in buying the same stock. So in long run, we believe that it will bring down your average cost. Okay, but of course, there is the pro and cons by using this method. The pro side is if you are not a very this is a very disciplined way whereby it's some saving kind of saving plan that you fork out fixed amount of money and invest into dump into your portfolio. But on the other side, we have a volatility in the market, so we cannot control the timing side. So by the time you fork out, you may be enter or you buying a stock with a high price. So in long run, that must be although you aim to lower down your cost, but in many cases we found that it's not. But in Equity Tracker, we use a better way I believe some of you already heard or learned that is laddering. So laddering is ladder down That means you ladder down, going down. Once the stock price fallen, then you invest, but you invest with a different magnitude or different amount. So over here, we didn't fix the timing like every 3 months or fixed time. But what we emphasize is based on the facts to design and to come up with a proper plan. By this time, say for example, $1 will fall to 90 cents, then we should spend how much of your allocated amount to invest. So we have a proper plan, but it depends on the timing, because one of the most difficult to control is the timing. So we can't control that when $1 will fall to 90 cents or 80 cents or 7. But what we have is patience. So one of the most important thing in investment is you have to train up yourself to be patient, and you have a plan, follow through a plan. Yeah, so over here, the plan is more important than time.
Yeah, because I think we did a study before. If you do dollar cost averaging, you will not be able to maximize your profits, right? And you will not be able to achieve the objective that you want, right? And I think, of course, in Equities Tracker, we actually have a trading plan, a system, although it's investing, but we do know what kind of prices that we should be buying and selling as well. Like Swee-Kiang has just mentioned. So the reason why we do that is because, remember, in investing, we want to get as much returns as possible, right? Dollar cost averaging is good. I think, in my opinion, if you are buying things like REITs, if you are buying an instrument that pays you consistent dividends, and your objective is to only get the dividends, not capital gains, then I think that's fine, right? That's why people, all the financial planners, they always ask you to buy monthly, buy unit trust, and all that, because you can average the price up. But if you do your homework and you do a back test, right, on whether it's a unit trust or whether it's a stock, you will see that the returns is quite meager, it's quite small, right? And that's the reason why we don't use dollar cost averaging in our investments. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
我也非常同意Benny 跟Swee-Kiang讲 dollar averaging， 其实在投资股票是我个人认为不管用，不好用，还是我们讲的 layering 这一种呢，你好好的掌握它的窍门的话，大概只花几个小时在课堂上，我们会跟大家讲解它的窍门在哪里。懂了这个窍门的话，对你掌握高回报是有相当大的帮助的。所以要在股市要找到好的回报，一定手上要拥有几个工具或者方法去 handle 才行的。
So Ricky Sifu was saying that he personally also do not use DCA, and in fact he is more prefer or favor of laddering. Okay, so during a Equities Tracker classes or courses, spend a few hours of time of picking up this useful skill. Once you really get it, then you will optimize your return. So in investment world, the more important is you have certain tactics or tools or some weapons to use accordingly and to maximize your return.
All right, thank you. Okay, PKU is asking, Dagang Next or D-Next is going to buy Silterra, which belongs to Khazanah. Silterra is a chip maker. Does anyone have any? I don't know about this company, so anyone has any information or want to comment about this?
这个公司是应该在 Gulim 工业区，就是最近市场一直在说 D-Next 要买过这个公司，虽然 D-Next 出来说他们有考虑，但是还没有 confirm。现在应该是 confirm 了，所以呢 D-Next 今天昨天这两则确实蛮有大的波动，主要是这个原因吧。
So Ricky was saying that Silterra actually is a MNC located in Gulim High Tech Industry Park, Kedah. So recently, rumors saying that D-Next is going to buy over Silterra, but of course before that, D-Next is was denied this denies the deal. But now we saw today, this deal has been sealed or completed. So the price or the stock price volatile, moving up today. And just for your information, 𝐸𝐴, if not mistaken, is front end, doing some front end process of some wafer. I have a few friends working in 𝐸𝐴 before. What we call in wafer level. Wafer is a raw material that used in a very important raw material used in semiconductor, and most of the front end process is actually conquered by American and the European country. Okay, and in Malaysia, we are in most of the technology or the tech company is in the back end. But now we're seeing that some of the company is moving towards this direction from back end to front end, which is more in terms of profit. It will give you more profit margin compared to the back end, and because it's a kind of a value added process and technology. Yeah, I think this is a very positive or good sign of for Malaysian company.
Okay. Now, of course, we don't have enough data to actually see what's how is it gonna affect dagang next yet, right? Because 𝐸𝐴 is a Sdn Bhd, isn't it? It's not a listed company, right?
Yes.
Okay, next one. Oh, Ray is just asking, what happened to revenue? I only know revenue share prices have gone up for the past 2 days lah.
Tidak tahu.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe it's because of reporting, right? We want to see the results. They are probably expecting good results, and that's why price go up. Anything can happen. But of course, I think if you look at the charts, price has been going up for the past 4 days and it's still going up today, right? I think that's why he's asking the question. Yeah, so I think we cannot comment that much as well. Okay, we only know that the share price has gone up. I think now it's at let me see. I think it's at historical high, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, it is at a historical high. Okay, so you're probably gonna expect some wonderful results from them lah. Okay, next one. Darren Chong is asking, just want to know, 30 or 40 years ago, without internet connectivity to source information, how do you get to know, study more info, and invest in the stock market? 30, 40 years ago, the time I only like less than 10 years old, I think.
As I mentioned just now, I just listened to the to the salesman tell me which counter to buy.
Yeah, when I started, got computer already lah. That time got charting and all that already. So, yeah. But that's the interesting part, right? Because Equities Tracker was formed like more than 40 years ago, and it's all started from this man's passion, right? Which is Alvin's late father, Jim Wong, right? Because he's an accountant by professional, so he always look at facts and figures and numbers, right? And because of his passion in investing, you know how Equities Tracker started. And at that time you don't have computers. I think computers still quite new, if I'm not mistaken, right? Jim used to go and get all the financial reports from Bursa Malaysia and compile it, right? And I put into I'm not sure that time what that time I'm not sure whether there's still a spreadsheet or not, but he puts digitalized actually all the information. And then all the information that we see right now on Equities Tracker is actually, we actually got, you only can see a data for 10 years, but we actually got data for up to 40 over years, right? But because of that, so because of this one man's passion, and he basically used it for his own purpose, right? Because he wants to get the data. But eventually he says that, in order to help more investors, retail investors, people like you and I, right? To get information where all these professional or institutions having, why not he just share this, right? And that's where the business of Equities Tracker started, right? And training only started like more than probably 15 years ago or 20 years ago. Okay, and education is because it started from people do not know how to use those information. Right? If you look at all the numbers or the financial numbers, like, so what, right? All numbers in it. So if I do not know how to use it, also then useless. And that's the reason why Equities Tracker started the education part. And we are all currently the students of Equities Tracker, which is actually founded like more than 40 years ago. Right? So the data, yes, because of these few people's passion, we are able to get this kind of information today.
其实30-40年前，investor 主要还是看报纸为主，然后当然每一个公司都会出一些 annual report， 所以大概这两种是懂得看的人，他就会得到很多的 information 跟好处。那其他的基本上就是看报纸 recommend 什么公司，基本上我们就买什么公司了。其实我们连那个时候 B ratio 都不懂到底代表什么意思，但是有了钱就买了。所以没有教育确实非常非常的浪费。
Ricky was saying that for about, of course, 30 to 40 years ago, mainly the investor are relying on newspaper, and coupled with the annual report announced or released by the listed company. So those who able to read or interpret from the newspaper and annual report, definitely they will benefit from it. But this is a very minority people, and more majority of public only rely on the tips given in newspaper to invest. So Ricky quoted an example of that. Not even for him to know what is PE, then you already invested in stock market. So this is you cannot really achieve in using this way. So education to him is yes, still very important.
Okay, thank you, Ricky. Now let's take a look. So we got a number of guys who have actually gone through our Equities Tracker program. Hey, Yuan Tong is asking Swee Kiang, do Swee Kiang hoot before?
To answer this question, if you look at my portfolio, it seems like I never did it before, because to me, I stick to the my historical of learning is I started my investment the first course attending Equities Tracker course, and I use a proper way to invest and guided by all the relevant guidelines. So one of the most important things in managing your portfolio is to control your allocation. So I try to avoid like hook or invest silang all in your money into one particular single stocks. That is very dangerous in terms of risk management. So what I did before, of course, is up to limit to 30 to 40%. But to certain people, this is considered a small portion. So in short, I seldom do this because to manage my risk management, to control my risk management.
Okay, so there goes Yuan Tong. He started with a proper education, that's why. Okay, Richard is asking, vaccine is coming next month, but the market looks like heading nowhere. What do you guys think?
Uh, 今天的报纸好像有说明一下，vaccine 因为 几个国家开始打了以后，现在已经证明说，COVID-19 的感染者已经相对的已经没有那么凶了，反而是 downtrend 这样子的状况。所以呢，基本上 vaccine 的到来却是帮忙了整个世界往好的方面走。当然，因为刚刚来不久，没有办法100%证明，我们必须等待一段时间，证明一切都如想象中那么好的话，经济回转，我认为是肯定的。
Ricky was saying that today he read an article mentioning about the vaccination in a few countries in the world, and those early country that started the vaccination, they started to see some positive result. The infection rate is going down. Of course, this shows that vaccination is helping to reduce the infection. But of course, this due to the process is still new in place. So a lot of we still do not know the real impact. But he foresee that. I mean, he think that this will, in long run, will give a positive result and expected economy and everything will get back into the normal place very soon.
Yeah. So if I think our government already came up with a plan, right? That there will be stages of vaccination, right? And we all probably only get vaccinated by next year. So we probably in next 1 year there'll still be we are still going to go through these SOPs and all that, right? Because there are still people who are not vaccinated yet. So I think in the next 1 year we're probably going to see the same thing, although we may not have MCOs anymore. Or maybe some recovery MCO or whatever MCO that the government is going to have later on. But it really depends on businesses, right? So despite the MCO that we have seen in the past 1 year, we can see, for example, that the automotive sector has actually been doing very well, right? This year, and we also see even chip shortages, right? And that cause car production to even stop, right? Because there's not enough chips. So question is, and then there's another question here as well, talk about semiconductor, right? So we'll come into that in a short while, right? So it again depends, right? Like for example, airlines and especially the tourism industry and so on, I think they're still going to be affected for the next 1 year. And even retail, retail should be able to recover maybe the second half, right? If I see that the vaccination it can be implemented, right? But it's anyone's guess, right? Because in the next 1 year we probably do not know what's going to happen in the economy as well until we get the numbers, right? But in the meantime, you just have to be cautious. I think don't just go gung ho, and because vaccine is up, and then you can actually whack any counter. But if you look at the index, the reason why our index was weak was because of glove counters, right? Because there are 3 glove counters inside the KLCI index. Okay, there's Harta Lega, there's Top Glove, and now Supermax as well, right? And glove counters are now experiencing a correction, right? Prices are going down, and that's the reason why our index were not going up. Okay, but there are other counters that are moving up. In fact, there are quite a lot of counters, right, that's actually started to go up. And we also see or semiconductor or anything that's technology related is starting to move. And I think because of results is going to be coming out soon. So that's why prices are starting to move. Right. So we're going to see, I think like what Ricky said earlier, we are all now in the festive mood. We probably want to wait for the results to come out and see whether our economy is actually improving or not, or whether the businesses are doing well, at least towards the end of last year. All right. Okay, Shamim is asking, as a newcomer to the market who goes through all the class by equities tracker, Would he be able to perform as good as Ricky? Does he complement what he has learned with other knowledge and experience? Question is, because Ricky portfolio is far superior than others, where is the edge coming from? Maybe Ricky want to share. What's the difference?
我其中很重要的一点，投资在股市，其实我们是投资在做生意。因为我过去40年的 working experience 都是跟工业有关系，所以呢，对于整个商业的情况，有所了解。
Yeah, Ricky was mentioning one of the most important point in his investment is he treat investment like a business. So it's not investment purely only, but it treat the investment like your own business. This is a very important concept or principle that he holds, and coupled with the 30 to 40 years of experience in the business world, so he apply the concept or apply this knowledge together with investment. If I were to talk up a little bit on this question on behalf of Ricky, I think one of the most important, also as a student, because I learned together, I also learned from Ricky, is the ability to sense using the business sense. Okay, how to spot or how to identify a growing business that will last for 2 or 3 years using what Ricky always use the trending or the what we call 潮流 in Mandarin, the trend and the how to identify the trend. The famous trend will in the next couple of quarters of years, and definitely there are some techniques to identify it. So Ricky actually is sharing this idea or this methodology through his VIDS class, Value Investing Decoding Strategy. Yeah, a 6-day class that conducted once a year.
Only once a year. So Shamim, you have is going to be in Mandarin, right? Shamim, so you have to get a translator with you to actually learn from Ricky Sifu. I tell you, it's going to be worth it, lah. You're just going to hire a translator, get the translator to sit with you in the class, and then you know how Ricky look at this the business trends. I think that's very important, right? So that's how
the other words Ricky used to use is investment is like science plus an art. Okay, mixings of science and art. So what you have learned now, a lot of you start to learn the fundamental, starting with science, a basic one. Now if you want to go far, then you have to pick up the art part. So this is one of the important point or content in the VIDS club. Emphasize on the art of the investment.
Oh, this one almost like technical analysis also, because technical analysis also got science and got art also.
I think come up to one word, sense of business. Yeah. I think that's why I can offer, because 40 over experience in the industry, that is a sense that sometimes you have to talk it up, then you can catch it.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's take a look at the next question. Okay. Fab is asking, what are your thoughts on the high PE of Malaysia tech sector versus the US tech? Secondly, who are the Malaysian beneficiaries of the global chip shortage? Wow, 2 questions here.
马来西亚最近的 tech stock 的 PE ratio 跟去年的 growth 的 PE ratio 非常近似了啊，所以回想一下 growth 的情况会不会发生在现在 tech 的情况，其实大家应该注意的地方。
Ricky was saying that PE of the technology tech stock in Malaysia, if we can recall, that is similar to what happened to glove stock recently. So whether what happened to glove stock will happen to the tech stock again, we have to take note and take monitor on this.
我再加一点，就是说 ，growth 因为 COVID-19，他们的 profit 都会有50% 以上的回报。那我们必须去想一下，未来的 tech 有没有这个可能性？这是我们投资自己要去了解的。
On top of that, Ricky was saying that glove sector, due to COVID-19, you will see that majority of them have a profit over more than 50%. But question over here. Sorry, Ricky, what's your question?
Will the same thing happen to the tech stock?
Yeah.
Your profit will be more than 50% and a few hundred. Is that possible? We have to think that is business.
And what I see is a tech sector actually is a very fast-moving sector in the sense that you see a lot of technology products. The life cycle of these technology products, some is very short. So technology sectors of the company are very keen to invent into a new technology and new products. So with the new products in place or introduction, so some of the time, if different from glove sector, glove it rely on the disease of the infection, but technology is kind of infinity. You can go far beyond. So a lot of new technology or new sector after a certain of time, it will release, and you will see that this is the earning also varies differently. So this is a main difference point between glove sector and technology. So of course, beneficiary of a global chip shortage in terms of a Malaysian company. For Malaysian company, as I mentioned just now, we are more on the back end services or back end value chain. So if you don't short of a chip sector, that means a lot of Malaysian tech company will be impacted as well. It's not a beneficiary somewhere because it relies on the other upstream to supply the chip for them to process the back end. So you have to identify what are the value chain or position of the tech company in the value chain.
All right. Now, okay, I know some of you are asking about the value investing decoding strategy class. You don't worry, our colleagues will get in touch with you guys who are interested. So if you are interested in the VIDS class by Ricky and 𝐕𝐭𝐤 and Jason, just type in VIDS on the comment section so that we can get in touch with you and give you more information. Right? Here we actually have Shamim and Dr. 𝐸 asking, why not English class?
We, definitely in one day there will be, but not at this moment, because in order for Ricky to, or for the team to run it smoothly, to convey convey the message or the skill and the techniques that to all the participants in very smooth way, we still prefer to use Mandarin to deliver. But since if you have on demand, then definitely we will consider that in English as well. Yeah, but at this moment only Mandarin is available.
Yeah, so guys, Dr. Koo or Shamim, you can get 10% to join in a class. I think we can start one English class, not a problem. Okay. So if you can gather around 10 people, then just let us know. I think Ricky and 𝐸𝐨𝐬 is more than happy to conduct a class. All right, but for now, you have to go and hire a translator lah. Okay, let me see. Okay, Yin MK is asking, how can a private placement affect warrant pricing? In this case of point server dynamic and server dynamic warrant.
𝐸𝐨𝐬𝐭𝐨𝐬 want to answer?
I only can comment generally, but not in the case of 𝐸𝐵𝐷 and 𝐸𝐵 dynamic and its warrant, because I'm not really familiar with it. But when we talk about private placement, it's normally up to 10% of private placement. What we see is normally listed company will place certain amount, certain percentage to the friendly party, okay, to their friendly party. So this is one of the cheapest or the convenient or fastest way to gather or to raise the fund, So after you as soon as in a 2 or 3 few months you can get the fund, then you can proceed with whatever plan you plan. So that means if certain company they really need the fund to launch or to launch a certain project, so definitely this will benefit the company. So bear in mind that warrant is a sub-product from a mother company. So if the mother company is performing, assume that, so definitely warrant also will follow as well. The trend is basically the same, but warrant has a leveraging impact that you will see the increased percentage of a warrant is always much more bigger than the mountain stock. So this is generally the private placement and the impact of warrant pricing. Of course, in the other way, if the private placement is meant for the other purpose, which is not benefit to the company, then also it will move to the other side as well.
因为 private placement 那就代表 number of share 增加，当然直接就会稀释到整个价格嘛，所以同样warrant也会跟做价格调整吧。
Ricky was saying that private placement actually is also increase of a number of share, so that will bring the effect of dilution effect. So your earning per share will be diluted, and again also will impact your stock price performance. So again, if a warrant will follow through the same trend as well.
All right. Now, before we continue, we have still a few more questions. I'll just have to do a few announcements, before we continue. So please bear with us in a short while. Just want to make a few announcements. What we're gonna have right in the next one month or so. So let me get into my screen. Okay. So next live lesson. So tomorrow we have Singapore Tuesday, and basically it will be myself. I'm going to talk about how to actually use charts to find opportunities when markets start to dip in an uptrend. Okay, and this is for the Singapore stocks lah. So we're only going to look for in examples on the Singapore stock market. But of course, in technical analysis, you can apply this on any markets lah, including crypto. Like you guys have been commenting down there, right? So you can use basically this on any other markets that you look at. So tomorrow, if you want to know how you want to use indicators to find opportunities when prices dips in an uptrend, then do join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right. So that's going to be Singapore Tuesday. Now, for those who are interested to attend the Traders Circle program, which is actually a trading program, okay, this is also conducted by me, and this is going to be online on the 27th to 28th of February, which is at the end of this month. Okay, so for those who want to look for more excitement and make opportunity or try to take an opportunity of short-term volatility, then this will be a program for you. All right, and of course, if you guys are into trading in the short term. All right, so again, if you are interested, just type TCP in the comment section so that we can get in touch with you to explain to you more about this program. All right, this is where you learn charts and use some of the tools. We're not gonna learn about technical analysis, but basically we're just gonna learn about how to use a few important tools to identify trading opportunities. And of course, most importantly, is to have a trading plan. All right. And if you guys are interested in the value investing program, which is conducted by Alvin, this is for investing. All right. So like those who are asking what indicators to use, how do you identify whether the company is undervalued or not, right? And how do you use the equity tracker platform, how to filter and so on and so forth, then this will be a program for you to find stocks to invest in. All right. So this is we just ended the class last week, right? For this particular program, we're going to have the next one only next month on the 19th to 21st of March. So if you guys are interested to attend this program, just type in VIP in the comment section, and then our colleagues will get in touch with you and give you more information. All right. So, and of course, for VIDS, I'm not sure whether this weekend you already have a date for VIDS this year.
Yes, actually, 6-day VIDS we break into two parts. Part 1 will be on a week after this, will be 26th to 28th of March. And then the part 2 will be on, if not mistaken, 10 to 12 of June. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Saturday and Sunday, 3 days.
So one in March, one in June.
Yes, because actually it's a 2 months interval, but due to the Hari Raya in May, so we decided to have it in June.
I see. Yeah, so I did not put the VIDS one inside here, but if you guys are interested in Ricky's and Swee Kiang's VIDS program, you can also just type in VIDS. In fact, if you do not know what course to take, you can just type in Equities Tracker. Our guy will actually get in touch with you and to see what kind of investor or trader you want to be. Then at least we can chat with you and see what kind of program which is suitable for you. All right. So if you don't know which program to attend, I know there are quite a number of programs here. Just type in Equities Tracker or just type in ET. All right, so that our colleagues can get in touch with you and share with you our programs. Okay. So now. Our next club meeting is going to be the 22nd of February. I know this is still early, but because maybe next week we're not going to be online, there are still some online sessions next week. But in case we don't have, and just to give you a heads up, we're going to talk about the palm oil sector, all right, on the 22nd of February. And and this is only exclusive for our members, okay, or Genius, or those who are subscribing to Genius. So if you have not subscribed to Genius and you want to attend, and we actually have a series of this palm oil sector, all right, just to give you a heads up. After the Chinese New Year, we're going to have one session on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken, on the 17th of February on Wednesday, right? We're going to talk about the commodities super cycle, all right? That's going to be on 17th after the Chinese New Year. And then on this 22nd, we're going to zoom down on the palm oil sector because palm oil is being in the commodity sector as well. And then the following week, we're also going to have a CEO of a plantation company. So we have a series of sessions just for you guys, and only members or only members can attend the club meetings like this one over here on the 22nd. All right, so the Super Cycle one, the one is going to be conducted together with Afin, is going to be open for all. Okay, so if you are not a member yet, if you want to be a member, you can just go to equitystriker.com/free. You can get a free 2 weeks access to try out the system, try out the platform. And if you want to subscribe, you can also go to this same website, this link, equitystriker.com/free. All right. Okay, so that's all the announcement. Yeah.
Allow me to share on the Mandarin Copy Time as well on the coming.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So for this coming Wednesday, a special one, we'll have a special ET Copy Time whereby all of you will see all the Mandarin team will go live and to see all the followers and friends together before we celebrate Chinese New Year. So this will be a very special one. Let's meet on this coming Wednesday, 8 p.m.
Awesome. This Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Okay. Got Hong Pao or not?
Yeah, definitely. We will show you some angbao. If you can join, then definitely you will see a very special angbao. You can see very special angbao during a session. No problem.
All right. So don't miss this Wednesday, right? This Wednesday, before Chinese New Year. Yeah, but then you can go for your reunion dinner the next day. And I'm glad that we're still at least able to go to our immediate family house, right? Although it's only within that 10 kilometer, but still better than just eating at home alone with your own family lah. Okay, so Yatlau, you ask about what best indicators to use. You know what? Just attend our VIP program, then you should be able to know what indicators to use, because we can't use one or two indicators to know how to spot an undervalued stock. There are a series of things that you need to look at, and like Ricky said, even the business aspect of that you have to look at. Also, you have to look at the numbers and also the context lah. Right? Once you put them together, you put the science and the art together. That's where you can really spot a good company. Right, and all this cannot be explained in this kind of session. The best, just attend our VIP session. It's a 3-day session. Then you get a much better idea on what to look for. All right. Terence is asking, all prices are up. Does it have effect on the KLCI sentiment? I don't see this affecting any sentiment at all, except for some oil and gas companies start to move up. That's all. I think the sentiment is on the street because we are seeing petrol prices going up every week, right? So it's better to.
I think 我应该是上一个月我有谈过 oil and gas 这个高的，假如说它的价格稳定在55块以上，其实这是一个黑马的 indicator 来的。
Ricky was saying that he did mention in last month for oil and gas sector, if the oil price can stabilize above $55 per barrel, this is a very good indicator for this industry. So let's keep on monitoring this. But one of the important indicator that used by Ricky is the oil price, the range. So over here is $55 per barrel and above. Then can stabilize with a certain period of time.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Wow, solar business will boom in 2021 according to the report. What do you think? What do Sifu think? Latest SolarVest signed MOU with 2 giant solar company in China. Okay, we can't mention about SolarVest, but maybe we'll take a look at the solar business or its green business, right? What do you guys think?
Solar 再生能源。假如是经营那个 solar fund 的话，我并不认为是一个好的 business。但是，假如能够争取到 private sector， 积极的参与这个的话，当然这个 solar 就会产生一种好的效应了。所以，是否2021年我们还有待于观察整个变化。
So Ricky was saying that for this solar, definitely this is a green technology, and if the company just solely invest into the large-scale solar farm, personally, that Sifu Ricky is do not think that this will bring a good profit to company unless the company also involved in the private sector. That means installation for the solar energy for the private sector. Because this is high, will have a higher margin compared to the large scale, but nonetheless, it still need to keep on monitor the overall development of this industry. And Lawrence, if not, I'm not sure whether you are our members. If you can revise or look back into our club meeting in 2020, we have a chance to invite two solar companies to share on the industry developments of that particular solar vest, and as well as the 𝐳𝐸𝐸𝐬, these two companies, so that every club members will have some basic knowledge about what is solar industry about. Yeah, so if you are our member, I will recommend or advise you to watch back the club meetings.
Yeah, so this is only for members. So if you're a member, you will be on our Equities Tracker online club Facebook page, and that's actually a closed Facebook where only all our members invited, and you will have all those in there. And we've already covered, the Solar Beast last year, right? So you can view the recordings there on the club meetings. All right, so please do look at it. And of course, this year is being pumped up because Joe Biden is a fan of green technology, right? So, and that's the reason why you see biotech and all this green start to move up because of the new president right now. So again, fundamentally, you can go back and check the club meeting that we had for the solar sector. All right. Okay, we already answered the tech counters. I think Ricky has already mentioned to you, we just have to be a little bit cautious because, when bubble bursts, it will burst like glove counters as well. You just have to be very careful. But for the time being, I think the tech sector is still the one that is driving the US markets, right? So as long as they are still quite strong, then of course, I think the second or third liner should be benefit from it as well. Because there's a question asking, why tech counters are all now so high, right? If the profit is coming very good, does it come down like fast like glove? Okay, so the question is, right? Although the prices tech sector is quite high, do you think that if it comes down, it's going to come down fast like the glove sector?
很难去预测，因为任何东西都有可能。谁都没有想到 growth 上的那么快，也掉的那么快。历史会不会重演在另外一个 sector 呢？对于我们投资者来说，只要是我们认为非常 overvalue， 那我们只有等待机会吧。等它做某种调整，再进场还不迟。
Ricky was saying that actually it's quite difficult for him to forecast. Everything is actually seems possible, and if we look back the glove sector, actually everyone is not expect the glove sectors to be so volatile, moving up and down in such a short time. But anyway, for technology sector, because a lot of coming new technology or new development are coming in, so still that is differently from a glove sector. Is we have to still monitor and keep on monitor the development.
Yeah, I think one thing is for sure lah. Price don't go up all the way one, right? It will start to come down. But the question is whether it's going to come down like what we see during the .com bubble burst in year 2000, right? Where tech stocks has gone down quite heavily. But I think it's a little bit different right now because I think people are more ready to tech. Everything is going to tech right now, right? And the technology is being used more now than ever lah. Right? Maybe in the year 2000 people weren't ready, right? But that's just the first stage of a tech boom. Okay, and of course over the years after the year 2000 until today, 20 years later, we have seen the technology is being accepted and is still booming up to today. But I think the difference between glove companies and tech companies is this, right? Because glove, the reason why we see the run up last year was purely because of this pandemic, right? This was just this one-off hours thing, this one-off period where all these glove makers are benefiting from it because the demand was just going up. But the question is whether this is going to sustain or not. That's the question, right? So like tech sectors, you can see the performance. Every quarter, you are able to see whether they are doing well, whether they are doing well or not. There are growth, so people will be tracking the growth, right? So for example, if let's say this next quarter, you see tech sectors, the results are not that good, you see the share price start to come down, right? But for glove, they're already expecting it. So what happens after a year, right? So they may be making this billions of 50% profit margin in this period of time, but can they sustain? That's the question. Okay, and that's the reason why you see price come down so fast, because this is one off lah. Okay, unless I do not know, maybe the next touch wood lah, right? New pandemic that comes in and all that, then of course then it will start to boom again. But the pandemic don't last forever, right? So this is only like a one-off thing. And you can see glove companies, although we see price like very cheap right now, like for example, if you see Top Glove now, I think it's trading like 6 ringgit and 30 cents, right? And it was like 9 ringgit. But you have to remember, right, in year 2000, early last year, the price was below $1, 1 ringgit, okay, adjusted lah. Okay, so even if you look at the prices right now, it's already gone up more than 10 times or so. Okay, so people don't forget what happened last time, right? When you look at now, our price come down from 9 ringgit to 6 ringgit. That's not much of a fall, right? In my opinion, right? Because like I said, this is just a one-time off, and then you will probably see. I think glove companies, one thing is for sure, is going to continue to be very volatile, right? Until the next 1 year, because people will be speculating and all that. But we probably can see the data to start to form a more become more consistent probably towards the next after 6 months or so, right? Then you can see how much the average selling price of glove coming down and so on. But right now you're going to see a lot of volatility lah. Okay, that's for sure, because prices are still considered quite high in my opinion. In my opinion only, not investment advice, based on charts. Okay, so you just have to be careful lah, right? So yeah, tech sector at least it is still you can still monitor them on a quarterly basis and see whether they're still doing well. Okay, it's just that we have this jump in glove sector. Can share some tips how to hood when market tank. Yin is asking. You know what, Yin? You better attend our program, our portfolio management program. Then you know you should not be hooting. Anyway, maybe for Shamim's benefit, what does hood mean? Ricky, you wanna explain?
Hantam
Hantam, yes, in Malay. That's a more universal word.
Okay. What is actually ESG, Tim? Which sector can be considered under ESG? ESG, I think it's a sustainability thing, isn't it? Okay, maybe you wanna let us know, Rasmawi, what is ESG? I know ECG lah. Okay, Jackie, you asked to show value chain of a technology counter. Even we actually do this on a club meeting last year as well. So you can have a whole map on the technology sector, right? So again, if you are a member, then you should be able to attend, go into our Equities Tracker online club Facebook page, and then you can go and look at our previous club meeting. You should be able to see the recording there, right? And that's where you can also download the slides, the presentation slides, and so on. So again, all this kind of information, where because we put our sweat and tears onto this kind of presentation only for our members. So you have to be a member, right? So you need to go to Equities. If you're not a member, you just go to equitiestracker.com/free to subscribe into the Genius package, and then you are considered as a member as long as you are a subscriber. All right. Okay, Coach is asking, nowadays quite a few companies consolidate their shares, then issue right issues and warrants. What is the impact? What do you think when companies consolidate their shares?
Okay, I will take this. So this is all mean the company capital change or activities. So all of these have their different aim. So for consolidation, some of the company, I mean, before consolidate is the share is like considered as a penny stock, less than 10 cents or 10 to 20 cents. So in most of the, especially fund manager point of view, they will not consider this penny stock. So one of the objective of consolidate is to make the stock looks bigger, but in actual it's not, it's just the same, but it will give a feel that you feel that above $1 after consolidation, definitely it depends on the ratio, but definitely it will become bigger and looks bigger. So some of the fund manager might consider that. So this is a consolidation. Of course, we will also see some of the company due to the loss, they have to do the consolidation. Okay, so this is the capital restructuring plan, one of the restructuring plan. Then for right issue, definitely for very in simple word, right issue is just fundraising. Okay, so what's the impact? Of course, you have to fork out your money if you want to subscribe. And of course, some of the right issue we will couple with some free warrants for you as a sweetener. So this is all kinds of company capital change activities. So right issue, consolidation, we have a split, bonus issue, and all that. So this is a very common in the market. But one of the lesson learned in the share consolidation is you have to aware of the X date, because by the time it acts on that particular day, the share price already adjusted, but your quantity in your CDS account is not adjusted immediately. It will take 2 days to adjust. So if you think that you after consolidated by right, your share is become lesser, but in the system you see that it's still not reflecting due to the it will take some time. So you can't, if you sold everything, then that will become a short quantity. So you have to take note on that. So you might need to require to buy back the missing quantity. So this is a share consolidation.
Okay, I hope that answers the question. So, ESG is basically environment, social, and governance, lah. Okay. Green energy, Lawrence say. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to know about, you want to get someone to talk about ESG, you can just type in ESG. So we try to get someone to talk about ESG. In fact, one of the things in the palm oil industry as well, it talks about sustainability, right? Oil palm sustainability, because the Western has been attacking us, right? As attacking the palm oil industry. First, they attack on we are killing the orang-utans, we are an imbalance towards the forest. And now they come in and say that we actually use child labor and so on and so forth, right? So you know what? You can ask all these questions in our club meeting on the 1st of March, because remember I told you that we're going to bring in a CEO of a plantation company, right? So you can ask those questions regarding all these issues in the palm oil industry. And again, this is only for our members, all right, which is going to be on the 1st of March. It's going to be a follow-up to a palm oil sector analysis that we're going to do on the 22nd of February. Right? Interview Samaida and next day limit up to call her another. Okay, looks like I think that's all the question that we have. Oh yeah, Shamim is asking, the VIDS one is and compared to VIP, are they completely different?
Of course, from the name, you will see that VIDS is a longer name. It's a strategy. So S is stand for strategy. So what we emphasize in VIP, of course, Shamin, you just attended recently, is introduction as especially for beginner. What is value investing? The what is the basic element you must have in as an investor, and start from there. We talk up from on top of a VIP is the art part, how to identify a trending industry using the thematic approach. So of course, this temporary is not covered in VIP, because VIP is meant for you to guide what is the capital at risk and how to identify. But on top of that, now in VIDS, we are more focused on how to identify a trending industry with a thematic approach. So this is the major difference in these two courses.
Okay, like how Ricky put it lah, right? A VIP is more like a science. Okay, VIDS include both science and also arts. All right. Okay, last question. Okay, this one is for Polygon. The pros and cons of bonus issue. Maybe Ricky, you can just explain. Or Srikan, you can just explain this lah.
Okay, pro, of course, to normal investor, it looks cheaper. Say for example, before X is more than 10 ringgit. Then after bonus issue is, take for example of a public bank. Before bonus issue is about 16 or 17 ringgit, or up to more than 20 ringgit. But after bonus issue is, according to latest share price, is 4 ringgit plus. It looks affordable to most of the investor. Okay, then the cons part, I really can't see what is the really con, because it's basically to investor is the same. It never changed. The cake is still the same size. It's just chopped into separate into smaller sizes only.
Yeah, the value don't change lah. Because I think that the term that they use, bonus issue, we all thought that we get bonus or free shares, but that doesn't happen, right? It's basically slicing the cake into more parts only lah.
Yeah, what I can come across is the con part is some of the investor, you will find that your stock quantity will become odd after bonus issue lah. If the ratio is like 3 for 5 or 1 for 3, so it happen that after bonus issue, your stock quantity will become an odd share. You will have an odd share in your CDS.
Yeah, one thing about, I think like you mentioned earlier, is a good thing about having this bonus when the price are adjusted is, like, for example, if you want to set up a portfolio, maybe previously I cannot put public bank into my portfolio because it's too expensive, right? But now at least it's cheaper. If I have a small portfolio, I can start buying public bank. and put into the portfolio. So that's the thing. But nothing changes. I mean, capital. There's no capital changes. There's no, the value don't change, and so on and so forth. Right? It's only that you have more shares in the market right now, and it's cheaper lah. Okay, that's the only thing you can see. Right. Michelle, you want to subscribe? You just go to equitystriker.com/free, right? equitystriker.com/free. Our colleague has actually just put in a comment section there. You can just click in, or our colleague will maybe if they are looking at your question, they can get in touch with you and how you can subscribe. All right. Okay, guys. It's already 9:36. I think we can end this program right now, and thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Thank you, Ricky and 𝐶𝐞𝐬. See you on Wednesday on Kopi Time special Chinese New Year edition.
Yes.
And don't forget, tomorrow we also have a session in Singapore, so buying on dips, which I'll be conducting. So I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye bye.
Good night.